All right, everybody, we got Coach Hill here. Coach, one weekend, what have you seen and what do you like?
It was nice getting into pads and seeing the guys be physical, and who wanted to be physical and who didn't want to be physical. And that's good evaluation, for us and which guys are ready to get into some of these game situations and who can process quickly, and who can't, and what personnel fits us, on the field, and what we feel comfortable with, and the guys we really trust.
Jeff? Jeff, you're muted.
Sorry. Could you just give us a little bit of an update on your view of the running backs, how they progressed so far? We just heard from Sean. It sounds like they're still pretty even. Can you sort of give us your view of that?
Sure, we feel really good about all three of those guys. They're getting fairly equal reps and taking advantage of them. And they all have their strengths and weaknesses, and we can use them in different ways. And it's nice having different backs, and different styles of runners, back there too. But they're all competing, and that's the thing that you can see in that room and then on the field. Their competition is really good. And every single play that they're in, it's full speed and they're getting after it. And again, we're trying to see, which guys fit which plays, but also, which of those guys can process, what we're doing, and who's making the most mental errors, to kind of see which one we feel best about, on the field ultimately. But I see all three of those guys playing and being successful and doing well for us this year.
Chris?
Hey, Zach. Can you give us some thoughts individually on what you're seeing from both Trenton and Dalen at the quarterback position?
Yeah, Trenton is he prepares really well. That's one of the things that he's got that coach's mind. He's very analytical, and so he goes into a meeting and he's on top of stuff. He knows the signals. He knows the adjustments, signal adjust, things like that. And then, getting out on the field, he operates pretty well. So I feel very comfortable with, him in the offense. If that was a situation, and as a backup, I know that he's going to prepare well for a game, understand what we're trying to do. And now it's the process of giving him reps and seeing what he does with those decisions. And the nice thing is we've got more weeks to go and more padded practices and more situations for him to get into as well as Jaden. And Dalen, he's learning a new offense. He didn't have the spring to kind of get that base knowledge. And he's another kid though that is very intentional with his process and very intentional with his preparation. And so he cares about football. He cares about getting better, and he's very coachable. He's a guy that you can say a few things to and coach him up in a few ways, and he will take it home with him afterwards, and he'll be, I bet you he's, in the grass, by his dorm, trying to do footwork. He's one of those kids. So he's fun to work with, and he's getting there. He just needs more reps.
Hode.
Hi, Zach. It seems like when it comes to the offensive line that you did switch Donovan and Henry from left to right to left.
Yeah, we've moved and played, moved a few of those pieces around and just seeing what fits and where Henry feels the best, and trying to find, is LD and Ben and the combinations there, trying to figure that out a little bit. And we're still solidifying that and giving those guys opportunities to show that they know it and who can be physical again. And really we're harping on that right now, the physicality and the toughness piece, because our defense is tough. They're giving us all they got, and they're punching us in the mouth at times, and that's good. That's good for us. And the O-line needs to see that.
And as a follow-up question, at what point of the preseason, as you get closer to the season opener, do you say, okay, that's it, this is my front five, this is the ones I'm going to go to battle with in week one?
I think we're getting close. Yeah, we're getting close. We want a few more padded practices, a few more, not live situations, but, those play it situations in practice where they don't know the next rep that's coming up, and they've got to process quickly and go. So, yeah, a little bit more evaluation, but we're getting close.
Michelle?
Coach, everybody has spoken. I want to go back to Trenton, and everybody's spoken very highly of him. How hard is it to give him enough reps to make sure that he's ready in case something does happen with Jaden?
It's always a trick, with a situation or like a position, like a quarterback position, because you want to make sure your starter's getting all or a majority of the reps and is ready to roll. And that's why you like a backup that can process well and that can learn and he's very intentional at practice. If he's not in, he's watching, he's analyzing, he's looking at the coverages, he's doing his footwork on the side, so he's very intentional with what he does. And even though he may not be getting the live reps out of practice or all of them, he's taking advantage of the ones he is getting. And then the visual reps, he does a good job with that. So you want those backup quarterbacks to prepare well, and he does.
Thanks.
Mac?
Hey, Zach, is it maybe harder for some of the veteran skill guys in this offense to get used to the offensive schemes to maybe compared to a bunch of the young guys and freshmen who maybe don't know any better?
There could be a little bit of that. They've seen a few other schemes and know different terminology, and now they're adjusting to that. I would say the older guys did get some spring practices in though, and where the young guys didn't have that advantage. The Johnnies, the LVs, those type of guys didn't have spring ball. So, they're trying to catch up from that too. So I think everybody's kind of in that level playing field, and we're just seeing who are our playmakers in that position, who wants to step up in practice and who plays confidently and who can play fast.
Chris?
Yeah, Zach, we got a lot of praise from Dave Christensen about Donovan West's freshman season, and just wanted to get your thoughts about what jumps out at you on him early on coaching him.
Donovan's a guy that has a lot of potential and a lot of talent. And he can move well for being as big as he is. He can play physical and was in a situation last year where he had to step up and be a starter. And he took advantage of that. And so we want to see him progress and continue to challenge himself in his development. And I know once we're getting closer and closer to game day, that energy, rises. And, but it's just, making sure that that's consistent and really pushing him as a coach to become better and keep pushing those effort levels. But he's got a lot of talent. He's one of those kids that's going to be really good if he keeps pushing himself.
Tressa?
Hey, Coach, thank you for your time. I just wanted to ask about your general thoughts on Jaden after this week, and just, is he as mature as Coach Herm makes it out to be, especially just being a sophomore and how he composes himself?
Jaden is very composed, and whether it's the highs and lows of practice, whether it's meetings, whether it's whatever it is, he kind of takes it all in stride, and that's not something that you can teach, in a quarterback. You can talk about it. As a coach, you can talk about it, but it's you don't find it very often where a kid truly is comfortable, in a lot of situations. And when the heat rises and when the adversity, picks up, he's calm, cool, and collected, and can go out there and play at his best. And he likes those moments. I think he is waiting, for those moments, to be able to kind of be cool all the way through it. And he knows he's confident in his abilities. He loves football, and he's really good at it.
Coach, follow up on that. Between him and Herm, do you see their relationship and how close they really are, and just him visiting Herm in his office every day and just how that plays well on the field?
100%. I mean, it's completely obvious, and it's very apparent. I mean, they're together all the time, and they're walking to practice. It's a cool relationship from a head coach, starting quarterback, and they trust each other. They bounce things out. It's not just football, it's life. And you know how Coach Herm is. I mean, shoot, he's phenomenal to talk to. So, Jaden gets to go in there and chop it up with him a little bit. And, it's a fun relationship to see.
Thank you.
But it's 100% real. It's for real.
Jeff.
Is there a certain style of running back or somebody that you would point to that's been especially successful in your system?
With the three guys that we've got, and just thinking about, Boise State, I mean, there's been a lot of different types of running backs, at Boise State. And so I think with our, three guys that are really getting the majority of the reps, Chip's obviously a powerful guy, and he is, he's one of those guys that's going to be really tough to bring down. And we're kind of laughing as coaches, and it's going to be fun to see him in live situations and people actually having to tackle him, because he's got some physical nature to him that's going to be fun to watch. And then Rashad's just he's fast and slippery and can kind of use his tempo a little bit to slow a guy down and then hit the gas. He's very elusive, and he's got good vision, and he's tough to tackle, and he's got good hands out of the backfield as well. And then Daniel is a guy that has, is very good in space. He's elusive. He's still a physical runner, has really good balance, and he can make you miss. And another kid that can catch it out of the backfield too. So I think there's a lot of backs, a lot of styles that will work, and it's really just those guys making plays, and I'm not concerned with it. We got to have this type of back. We just need a productive back.
Coach.
So Zach, we're hearing the veteran defensive backs, quote unquote, complaining about how complex this offense is. But let's flip that around. I mean, when you try to run everything that you try to run, do you notice that been there, done that element of this ASU secondary?
Oh, that's a tough secondary to go against now. It's a challenge, and they're very confident, and I love that about them. You love those corners that are very confident, and they're hard to deal with. So it's exciting, and we kind of get on each other a little bit, and we have fun in one-on-ones and out at practice, and the competitive nature starts to rise and all that stuff. But at the end of the practice, we're hanging out and joking, and man, I'm glad we got you. Well, we're glad we got you too. So it's fun. It's fun. It's a good group of guys. It's energy at practice is really good.
Anyone else?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Zach.